Welcome back to 13C, everyone. Thanks for joining us out here today. Most of the snow is melted. It's a beautiful day, and finally we're having our first enjoyable range day 2015. Thanks for joining us. We're gonna be showing you guys a lot of my favorite guns here today, and just having a blast shooting these targets from shootsteel.com. We'll talk about them more later. This is one of my favorite handguns. It's the venerable 1911. I know I carry high capacity 9mm every day, and I have for a decade plus, but this, when it comes to just joy and fun of shooting, is one of my favorites. This particular model is the Springfield TRP, and they call it the tactical model, but it is a blast to shoot regardless of that. So the VP9 is my current carry gun. This is one of my favorite handguns right now. Definitely one of my favorite modern defensive handguns. I love the grip angle on it. It's very similar to that of a 1911. The controls are ambidextrous, which are really nice. And in general, the package just shoots very well in my hand. I find I can get decent, quick follow-up shots. And like I said, it points very intuitively, thanks to that grip angle and the way it fits the hand. So if there had to be a pick for one of my favorite handguns on the market right now, especially if you're gonna use it for self-defense, it'd definitely be this VP9 from H&K. Thanks again for joining us out here today, guys. It is a beautiful spring day. A little cool, a little crisp, but all the snow is pretty much melted. There's still a little bit left, and spring is definitely in the air. Long range is open back up here for a little bit now. We can finally get back out to that, and we are really enjoying ourselves out here. So today we've got a couple targets from shootsteel.com. This one's a modular type of target, and it comes with everything that you need except for this 2x4. So one of the nice things about using a lower interior type 2x4 like this is it cuts down on weight. I repurposed this one from a project earlier in the year. It was scrap left over, so it didn't cost me anything. Or you can just pick up a 2x4 for $3 from your local hardware store, some of the inexpensive ones, cut it to whatever height you want, and there's your target. As you guys know, I've been shooting this quite a bit with handguns over the past couple months. This guy, before the major snow hit, saw some action. Once we had 2 foot of snow on the ground, the long range was shut down, and even dragging that out there, even trucking out there by foot, the target pretty much just sink down into the snow and makes it almost impossible to even see or shoot at anyway with that kind of snow. So, now the snow's gone, this guy's back to work. This is a pretty cool little target. It's got 2 different cuts in it, which allows it to sit straight up or at a forward angle. Now for rifle rated plates, you don't want to shoot them with a rifle closer than 100 yards typically. In this case, when it's angled forward, you can actually shoot this at 75 yards, which is very cool. The nice thing about that is if you don't have the ability to get out to 100 plus yards, you angle this forward, you can actually shoot now steel plates with a rifle where you may not have been able to before. Now obviously these are for regular bullets. You would not want to shoot anything armor piercing at them because you want them to last. Targets like these, quality targets, are going to last you a very long time. And round for round, they will far more economical than paper targets. I love paper targets. You guys see me shoot them all the time. But steel, there's something about the ring, hitting it, the instant gratification that's really hard to beat. You guys see what looks like a lot of times I'm starting out with a fresh target every time. No, I don't have that many targets. What I do is I grab a can of spray paint, spray it on there, covers it up, and basically, as I call it, resets the target. Obviously you don't have to do that if you don't want to, but normally at the beginning of a shooting session and halfway through it, something like that, I do like to reset my target just so that I know as I'm shooting, I have an indication of about where I'm hitting on target. So if I find myself having rounds hitting all around the periphery, I know I probably either need to slow down, spend a little bit more time taking my shots, pay more attention to what I'm doing so I can tighten up those groupings some. Other than that, I'm going to be keep shooting this mostly with handguns because this is mostly my handgun target. I have shot some rifle rounds at it, but I love this guy up close, so that's pretty much what I do with it. This guy is one of my long range targets, so I'll be shooting everything at it today from 223 to 308. It's gonna be a blast, stick around. All right guys, so let's take a few shots at this shootsteel.com target at 75 yards here. Remember, it's in that angled position, so it should be all right to shoot it here at 75 yards. Very cool. PS90 here. I love this little guy. It's a lot of fun. Really quick to get follow-up shots on target because of the low recoil. And also upgraded it, and I'm running it with this new K9 charging handle here from Homeland Guns, and I'll get into that a little bit later on in the year as I run it a little harder, but so far, actually really digging that. So let's get to shooting and have some fun. All right, so we did it with the Tavor 223. Now let's do it with the Scar 17 and some 308. Let's go take a look. So here we are down at 75 yards, and as you can tell, this target's holding up pretty well. These hits here from our 308 and our 223 doing really well. We don't see any issues with the target, not back deformation obviously, and nothing on the front face as far as pitting or cratering, which is really nice to see. We do have a really aggressive cut line underneath the target here from where those rounds are coming down and splattering down, so that's kind of interesting to see. Normally you always see that, but this looks much more aggressive down there. It's probably because of this, it's shooting all that almost straight down in there. It's not quite as out as much, which is kind of interesting to see. One thing I will note is, and I was trying to hit some of these edges here along the outer edges to show you guys, you know, the further out on a target on steel you hit, the weaker they are at the edges. So I was trying to hit a couple of those edges to show. That's about as close on this one as I got to the edge there. I did get one down here on the edge. This one is the one to note though. If you shoot one of these targets on their edge like this, you're going to see a little bit of deformation in there. Generally speaking, across the board on any steel targets, that's going to be something normal that you expect to see when you strike right on the edge like that. I'm pretty sure if I had to guess, that one round where I heard a zing, I would assume that is what made that sound. Anyway, it took a little divot out of there. You know, it would take a lot of those before you're going to do anything to impact the stability of that stand though. Otherwise, this has been a solid target this year. Thank you again for joining us out here today. Beautiful spring day. Finally, no gloves, no heavy parka, just out here and enjoying myself, not having to be tortured by the elements. If you're in the market for a steel target, drop by shootsteel.com. They're definitely worth your consideration. They make some quality targets and they're a great group of folks over there. If you have any questions about what you've seen here today, feel free to ask them. You can find us places like facebook.com/gun reviews. You can also find us on Instagram. That would be at 13C Gun Reviews. And of course, the kind of the hub is our main website, 13cgunreviews.com. Again, everybody, thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you next time. Please be safe out there.